Good evening, everyone, and I would like to welcome all of you to this progress report on our Flint water progress that we're making inside the city of Flint. Today, I want to recognize a couple things here. Today is a National Day of Prayer, so if you believe in it, please say a prayer as we get through this process with good information and good transmission of information to all of you. I want to thank the members of our team here in the city of Flint for helping us put this on. Our communication director, Margie Raymer, also Melissa Brown from our communications department, and also from our IT department, Jeff. And so all of you guys, thank you for the great work that we're doing, making sure that we keep in communication with you, the Flint residents, about what we're doing. Partnership is key to make sure that we move our community forward. With that said, we want to thank God as well, but I want to welcome all of you, and I'm happy to report that we're making progress here in the city of Flint, but we still have work to do. Partnership is key, and we have some of our partners here with us today from our Environmental Protection Agency, from GLEWA to our EPA, and so the partnership has been moving fantastically as we work through this process here. We're at the intersection of crisis in our community, but with the water crisis that's been going on for 7 years, we have been making tremendous progress and processes that have been put in place for us to move forward. We've been here a year and a half, and we're doing fantastic work. Some of our partners that you will hear from today will be from EGLE, will be Liesel Clark, which runs the division at EGLE, and also Michael Harris from EPA. He's a division director, and also our DPW director, Mike Brown. Not the face that you will usually associate with Mike Brown, but you'll get an opportunity to hear from him today. And before we get into our report, I do want to give an opportunity for our partners to be able to have a word with you, the listeners. And so this is about being transparent and updating you with good information. And one thing that we have been battling against is bad information being disseminated throughout the community. And we want to make sure that you have good information real time as we move forward, as we go through this crisis. And now I want to turn it over to my good friend, Michael Harris from the EPA. Mike, thank you so much for taking time out of this great city of Chicago to join us here today. And I want you to feel at home here while you're in Flint right now, because the partnership has been fulfilled from you guys. And I want to thank you personally on behalf of the residents of the city of Flint. So Mike, I'm gonna turn it over to you now.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mary, for that introduction and for inviting me to participate in today's community update. The people of Flint have been through quite a lot over the past several years, but this community's perseverance has been remarkable and your success undeniable. Over 5 years ago, Flint was in the middle of one of the greatest drinking water crises in our nation's history. And understandably, trust in leadership and government was just as corroded as the pipes that's tainting your drinking water. So after years of hard work and resilience, Flint has turned a corner and is on the brink of completely removing all lead service lines throughout the city and also rebuilding its water infrastructure from the ground up. The challenges your community was facing at the onset of the drinking water crisis was absolutely daunting. And it quickly became apparent that any hope for recovery was dependent on an all-hands-on-deck response. No time was wasted in developing a diverse team of experts at the federal, state, and local levels. You'll be hearing this evening about some of the infrastructure and other improvements that's been made, but it is this partnership that has proven to be one of our biggest assets, only second to the strength and resolve of the residents of Flint. I want to express my sincere gratitude to both Mayor Neeley and Director Clark and all the state and city employees for their continued hard work and support. Together, we have enhanced communication between our organizations to ensure issues are addressed in a timely manner. Our monthly update meetings between EPA, EGLE, and the city, the bi-weekly lead and copper rule sampling meetings, and even the spontaneous check-in calls have facilitated our actions in ways that would not have been possible otherwise. As the mayor mentioned, we aren't past the finish line yet. However, the city of Flint is well on its way, and while I certainly don't expect that anyone would have willingly walked down this path, I hope you all know that the lessons we have learned here in Flint are benefiting countless other Americans across the country. Lead in drinking water is an unfortunate reality too many communities are grappling with. EPA estimates that 6 to 10 million homes in the country have lead service lines, and this number doesn't include schools and daycares. By focusing our attention on facilities such as these, in addition to providing resources to communities for residential lead service line replacement, we can help protect vulnerable communities and children from the negative health effects of lead exposure. The fact is, the critical infrastructure needs our country is facing must be addressed. And for EPA, this issue remains a top priority. But for today, we can all take a moment to reflect on the progress that has been made here in Flint. No longer should Flint be considered a symbol of government failure. Rather, it has become a model of what recovery can and will look like. And for that, I thank the residents of Flint and our partners who have helped get this community back on track and moving forward again. Thank you again for inviting me to participate in today's update. And at this time, I'll turn it back over to Mayor Neeley. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mike. Once again, we want to thank you for your partnership and moving us forward. And as you stated in so many words, what defines us is how we rise. And how we're rising is through partnership. We're rising to make magnificent strides moving us forward. Michael Harris, Division Director for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, thank you so much for your partnership on behalf of the residents of the city of Flint. Now, as we also move forward, when we talk about it on our state side, we also have great partners that we've been working with from the state of Michigan. I would like to introduce Liesel Clark, the Director of Michigan Department of Environmental, Great Lakes, and Energy. Thank you, Liesel, for joining us, and thank you for your partnership as we move forward with this communication to be transparent for our residents of the city of Flint. Liesel, it's all you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Neeley. It really is a pleasure to be with you and to be with this host of your guests here tonight. So appreciate the opportunity. Eagle's proud to be supporting, along with EPA, the city of Flint's work to make the city's drinking water system one of the safest and most modern in the world. We're excited to see major projects like a second pipeline to Lake Huron, completion of lead service line replacement, and modernization of the city's water treatment and distribution systems completed this year. These projects are important to ensuring the long-term reliability and safety of Flint's drinking water infrastructure and rebuilding people's trust and confidence in the system. And Eagle's proud to be supporting the city in these efforts. An important part of rebuilding trust in the city's water is testing data. And I'm pleased to share the latest lead and copper testing Eagle has collected. A graph should appear on the screen here in just a moment. Thank you. Every Michigander deserves safe, clean drinking water. Our stringent lead and copper rule, the strictest lead and copper rule in the nation, is designed to be more protective of you and your family. This rule strengthens our ability to detect lead in drinking water and will help protect your family's health. The city of Flint now has recorded more than 4 consecutive years of lead testing results that are below the 15 parts per billion EPA action level for lead. Lead testing results have settled into a 4 to 6 part per billion range in Flint, even with the more stringent Michigan testing procedure that collects water from service lines outside of the home. We expect these testing numbers to improve further as the remaining 500 or so lead service lines are removed from the Flint system. Every time a lead line is removed from Flint, the risk of lead exposure drops. Other water quality standards will be monitored as well, including residual chlorine and orthophosphate. Chlorine residual is important to prevent bacteria growth, and orthophosphate is important in minimizing corrosion in water pipes. Both of these standards are being monitored very closely by the city, and the results are very good. Looking ahead into 2021, Eagle will continue to support the city and EPA in closely monitoring all of those water standards during these important water infrastructure projects. And we look forward to helping the city keep residents informed about their water quality throughout the process. I really appreciate Mayor Neeley's comments about transparency and communications, and I'm pleased to be able to join you here today. Our team is looking forward to supporting the city of Flint as they work through this process going forward and doing everything in our power to make sure that we're providing data in an open and transparent way and communicating with everyone in the city of Flint about the projects as it moves forward. So thank you, Mayor Neeley. I'm thrilled to be here and look forward to taking the next steps together.
Well, absolutely. And thank you so much again for your partnership. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure that was perfectly clear to residents, this is about being transparent. And this is about getting good information, because a lot of misinformation has been distributed throughout our community as it relates to water over the past 7 years. It's been a trying time, the crisis in confidence, and right now we're working to restore that level of confidence. Right now, we also have a new person at the helm of our DPW, Department of Public Works. Mike Brown is not a stranger to the city of Flint. He worked for the city of Flint for 25 years before he retired and took his skill set to another municipality. Upon noticing that he took his skill set he's still a resident of this community, we went to recruit all the people with the necessary talent and understanding, and also a Flint resident. We went out and we secured Mike Brown for the residents of the city of Flint to bring back that expertise. And Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your experience and why you chose to come back to the city of Flint?
Well, my experience, I worked in municipalities, worked for the city, and retired back in 2011. I started out at the wastewater treatment plant, worked my way up to be the utility administrator when I left in 2011. I was born in Flint. I grew up over near Freeman School. I'm still a resident of Flint. After I retired, I did a few other things, but my latest job was working for Oakland County as an operations supervisor, working second shift, watching 2 wastewater treatment plants. While I was working there, a friend called me to let me know that the position here had opened, and they thought I'd be a good fit to come back and help the city of Flint. It is great to be back serving the community I love. Currently here at the city, we have a strong team, and I look forward to working together to serve the city residents, of which, as I said, I've been one for over 2/3 of my life.
Well, thank you for that, Mike. And you could have told residents you came back because of the leadership here, that we came out to recruit you. You're a strong man of faith, and that's one of the things that we really like about you. We talk about prayer, planning, and partnership. We put together an effective plan for residents to be able to come to a level of recovery with regards to our infrastructure projects. And you are a welcome friend, and you are a vested member of the city of Flint. And what we go through, you go through, because you and your family are still here. Now, let's move forward to our progress report on the Flint water. And so as we talk about what we're going to be doing, and you'll hear a little bit more from Mike, but people ask why. Why are we doing it, and why are we engaging in this? Because it's a level of transparency that has not been distributed to residents in this community often. And so we want to make sure that you get good information. I talk about good information because good information, as we work together through a partnership plan, and the residents, you are a partner in this. We have to be able to move together in step. And working together in step, you have to be informed about what is going on in your community as it relates to this issue and this crisis as we work our way through and eventually out of it. Now, water quality standards. We know that our testing levels have been 6 parts per billion. 6 parts per billion. The federal standard for America is 15 parts per billion or less. But we understand that no amount of lead is good in our water. And so now we're trying to evacuate this deadly and health harming element from us. And so the results now, as we go through our testing process, the city of Flint is currently testing at 6 parts per billion. That is the result of our testing cycle through June and December of 2020. And we're still ongoing with our testing. So if you have not had your water tested, and if you're contacted by our staff, please be a part of the testing cycle so we can continue to make sure that we're testing at a good rate. Moving toward completion of our projects. 62% of our projects have been completed. And this is a total infrastructure funding program that came by way of the high-minded legislators from the federal government that allocated $167 million from state and federal government funds. So this didn't come automatically out of our tax dollars or our local treasury. And so we're working through this, and 62% of all of our projects have at this time has been completed. Local assistance, the funding that helped the city of Flint to fund this was provided was in the areas of adding additional personnel, expertise, and oversees the projects that we have. We have project managers and other skill sets that's coming into on board to be able to assist us as we seek to get our way out of the crisis in which we currently face. And so the next steps, as we look at the response that we have from our partners, has been awesome. And so we're moving toward completion of all projects, and most of these projects by the end of 2021. Water quality monitoring. And so I'm going to tap into our Mike Brown for a little bit of this, but we'll talk a little bit about the water quality. We have installed 6 water quality monitoring stations to measure the quality of water on an ongoing basis. This monitoring makes sure the city of Flint meets its safety standards. And Mike, can you elaborate a little bit about this slide while we talk about the monitoring stations and why we installed these 6 monitoring stations?
Well, we have 6 monitoring stations because they go throughout the city. We have them on the north, the west, east, and south sides of the city, and they are monitoring constantly to take a look at the parameters, whether it be pH, chlorine, etc., to make sure that the water that's coming into the area that they're monitoring is good for all of our residents.
Right, and this is an ongoing process, so we can make sure that we meet all the safety standards on a real-time basis in the city of Flint. And we have professionals, scientists that make sure that on an ongoing basis that we can provide good quality water for residents inside the city of Flint. When we talk about the service line replacement, this is the replacement process in which we have been hearing a lot about. This requires a level of partnership with our co-equal branch of government so we can continue to make sure contracts are let to qualified and responsible contractors to meet the needs of this community. And so this is a massive project to replace all lead and galvanized steel water lines from our homes throughout the city of Flint. And so right now, we're still have about less than 500 lines to replace that we know of, but it's time to make sure we get our lines replaced now. So if you still have not received a communication or have not indicated that you would want your line replaced, because it requires consent from the homeowner or property owner to be able to go in to remediate these lead or galvanized lines from your property, the time is now. We're at the end of this project and we don't want to leave anyone or any lead lines in our system. So you can go to the cityofflint.com/gettheleadout. Once again, that is the cityofflint.com/gettheleadout if you have not yet been contacted or if you still think you may have a lead service line. Or you can call 810-410-1133. Once again, that's 810-410-1133. We must make sure once we get these the notification that you are a willing participant, that we can come while we're doing these projects, because we want to make sure that we remediate these dangerous lead and galvanized lines throughout our system. As Mike Harris said from the EPA, that many communities throughout the country are having these same types of issues, but the city of Flint will be the lighthouse of hope, and we will carve out the template for the ways to go about doing this right. And we've been doing a fantastic job rounding out our team here in the city of Flint. Now, secondary water line. I'm going to tap on to Mike Brown once again. I'm going to take a sip of water before I lose my voice here. But Mike, can you talk a little bit about our secondary water line system?
Our secondary water system is a line that's being brought in to the city of Flint. You can kind of think of it like 2 straws going out into Lake Huron. We have one that GLEWA supplies us with water, and then the second one is water that goes to the Genesee County plant, where they treat it, make it drinkable water, and then put it into a pipe that comes to us, so that we have 2 completely different sources of water. Even though it's from one location or a Great Lake, there's a lot of room out there, and it is being taken from different areas of that lake.
Yep, and Mike, This is one of the things that's required to make sure that in the case of an emergency, if our primary system goes down, we have a secondary system in order to be able to provide a safe source of water for our residents inside the city of Flint. And so we're looking at ways to make sure that we can secure a safe source of drinking water for our residents. And this is ongoing, and we have started to work to make sure that that is being taken very seriously, that we're going to be in compliance with federal regulations and also state regulations as we make sure that we put a second straw into Lake Huron to make sure that we can get a safe, secure source of water for our residents here in the city of Flint. Now, as you take a look at some of the art that we have provided, these are renderings and these are actual photos from some of the sites that we are ongoing constructing these sites. We have contracted these buildings to be built. This is a new building that's being built right now. And this is called the Chemical Feed Building. This is a project, and this is a construction project at the state of the art building that is being built. Mike, I've been out to the site and I've watched this be built from the ground up. And can you talk about the Chemical Feed Building and what happens on this particular site?
Okay, the chemical feed building is after the water has been brought into the grounds of the plant from one of the two different pipelines. And the chemical feed building, we have a monitoring station there that reads what's in the water that's coming in. Then our SCADA, our computer system, then determines how much chemical has to be added. And that building will then monitor and add the chemicals needed to make the drinking water safe to come throughout the city of Flint.
Right, and this project began, broke ground in 2020, and we're rapidly trying to complete this project. As we talked about, 62% of the work being done. This is one of the projects that's underway, and we're working very fast to complete this project for the benefit of the residents inside the city of Flint. And we talk about the household water meters, and this is the part of the infrastructure project after we complete the lead service line replacement and all the big chemical feed buildings and also the secondary delivery system of water. This is our internal pieces of infrastructure that we're working on now. And this is the household water meters. Every resident has a water meter, and this is the way that we'll be able to calculate the usage of water so we can accurately bill customers for the water usage. This is a commodity that comes in that we purchase from GLEWA currently. We buy what they call a finished water product. And so we buy it as a total community, and then we send that water out after making sure everything is safe and secure for you. We send it out to every residential home and or business. And then we need a way to make sure that we calculate what everybody's fair share is for that finished water product. And so right now we're replacing all the old water meters. Right now we have contracted with a company to be able to do so. Each resident may receive a letter, and it's up to you to make sure that you schedule a time where your water meter would be replaced. And these are state-of-the-art water meters that's being placed in the residential homes right now. And these water meters has a cell signal in it, and we can actually read the usage of your water by a cell signal. In the past, many years ago, we used to have a person go door to door, and they used to say, they knock on your door and it says, I'm a water meter reader. And they would come in and take the actual read from your water meters. Through technology, we've been able to advance the way that we do business here inside the city of Flint as well as around the country. And so now we are able to do it with a cell signal. And so it gives us a great accurate read. In the city of Flint, when I came on board, this project had begun, and we had a lot of concerns about this. And I would want to ease concerns of residents right now about the water meter going in. Sometimes that with the old meter system, they were failing and people wasn't getting an accurate read. Sometimes people underpaid for a long period of time. I waived those fees and those for the past costs that we did not charge you for. So we called it a new meter, new start. That is only for a period of time when you are undercharged for your water for a period of time. And so if you need more information about that, please call the Water Service Division here at the City of Flint, and we can get more information about this. But don't be apprehensive about allowing people to help us upgrade our infrastructure. Part of the infrastructure that needs to be replaced is in your home. And so the water meters is a part of that. This will ensure many things moving forward, that we have a new service line, new water meters, new major projects with infrastructure delivery systems, and also ways to make sure the water that's coming through your pipes is safe for human consumption and or using it for any other particular thing. We still recommend using water filters in all occasions for drinking water, but we're moving fast and we're making progress. And our water reservoirs, this is what we have been doing. This is to rehab two 20 million gallon water reservoirs in the city of Flint and their pumping stations. Mike, I'm gonna tap onto your shoulder one more time to talk about what these are and why we're working to upgrade these reservoirs.
Okay, these reservoirs, as the mayor said, are 2 million or 20 million gallons apiece. One is on Dort at the water plant. The second one is on Cedar, which is off of Fenton Road. We take water into the city and we store it in case there's a problem. First off, if a pipe were to break, or we had a problem with pumping from the Gliwa line, we can then draw off of these two reservoirs that we keep near full most of the time. The second thing is that it gives us a buffer for, again, being able to draw the water in late at night when it's cheaper, because electricity costs are cheaper. So we get a cheaper rate to draw in a larger amount of water throughout the night hours. And then during the day hours, the pumping stations that are attached to both of these reservoirs can then push the water out back into our system when we need it.
Thank you again, Mike, for your help and your your expertise. And this is why we hire the best that we can find and that we can afford in this community, because they bring a skill set, they bring an expertise, and once they bring in all these high-powered intellectuals to be able to help us, that is part of the way that we're going to be able to get through this crisis and then work to a better resolve. As we work to with the water rate study and all the things that we have moving, it's a lot of moving parts, but we need your partnership, and we need to always provide you with the best information. And the water main replacements. And the water main replacements, and we're working on these projects, and water main replacements is because we have an aging infrastructure that needs upgrades from time to time. And this project replaces some of the main pipes and the transition lines throughout our city. These are the main arteries that move water up and down and through our city. This includes and replaces some of those things. And this is the Northwest transmission lines, which runs east to west across North Flint. Also, when you sometimes see water leaking in the street, is because maybe it has been a failure or a rupture in one of these lines, and we have to go in and replace them. Commonly, it's in the wintertime when the frost is causing interruptions. But these are the times that we go in to replace major infrastructure projects. And so, Mike, did you want to say a couple words about the water main replacement projects that we have?
Well, one of the things about putting water mains in is it does disrupt the street and disrupt our normal flow of life. If you live on the south end for Atherton, from Van Slyke all the way to Dorrit Highway, half of it was done last year. The other half is just now being completed, and it is disruptive to us. But you have to remember that before that, those pipes that were in there for 50 to 80 years and have needing to be replaced. And we're replacing them with much more efficient pipe. It's much smoother on the inside and a little bit smaller because we don't need as much water there. And it makes it a smaller pipe, has more water through it, makes it fresher for all of the people who do receive water from that pipeline.
And these are the projects that we have to move forward with. And this is a part of the partnership that we talked about. We're working on perfecting the ways that we communicate to you, the residents, when we do have an interruption in our transmission lines. If we're doing work in that area, you will see a door hanger on your door telling you that there will be an interruption. Once if it's a planned upgrade or modification, you will see that door hanger placed upon your door telling you that we will be working from time A to time B, and that you may be experiencing an interruption. I know it can be frustrating at times, but this is one of the necessary things that we have to go through in order to make sure that things are efficient and safe for you, the residents. We're also working on other things, as I stated before, a flat rate water study, trying to figure out ways to reduce costs for water, this commodity. We believe that water is a human right here in this community. I've stated that before. We will continue to be very transparent and communicate with you, but the things we have to dispel all the misnomers around things and get good information. And let's go through an overview. If we can bring that full screen for you to see. The overview, by the end of 2021, water quality monitoring, we check that off. Secondary water line, we'll check that off. Local assistance and capacity, we check that off. Service line replacement, we will check that off. Chemical feed building, we will check that off. Now, as we work to continue to move forward, we still have more work to do. Household water meters, water main replacements, reservoirs and pumping stations. And so we will continue to move forward at a great rate in partnership with our counterparts from EPA and EGLE and our local partners, and also you as residents. Moving forward, we want your input. We want positive input, and we want you to be able to make sure that we understand what it is, what I call your front door view, what is happening when you open your front door, what view you have, whether it be the east side, west side, north side, or south side. We take that all into consideration, making sure that we are servicing you to the best of our ability with the high-minded dollars that's coming to this community. We will be successful. We will make it. We will make it through our partnerships, prayer, planning, and partnerships. Also, I want to re-thank our guests, Michael Harris from EPA, Liesel Clark from EGLE, and also our resident DPW director, Mike Brown, and also the team here in the city of Flint. And so I want to ask Mike, who should we call with any particular problems? If we see problems, Mike, is there a number that we call to get direct service or direct help? Is there a number that we have for you?
Yes, I was going to say, I know a lot of people like to call the mayor's office, but and then he has to relay it to me, and then I have to relay it to where it needs to go. But we do have a phone number. It is monitored 24/7. I have somebody who picks up those phones and will make calls back to our residents. That phone number is 766-7202. Again, 766-7202.
Right. And thank you for that. Moving forward, we want your input. We welcome your input, and we will host more informational meetings moving forward. And it's open to you to have comment, positive comment. That is one of the things that we have to move forward in, and being positive in the way that we engage one another, respectful in the way that we engage one another, moving forward with good partners. I am one half of a co-equal branch of government that serves you, the residents, and we need to make sure that we keep things flowing, not to be delayed, not to be too political in the environment in which we live. But you, the residents, you matter. You matter first. And we need to make sure that we continue to provide a level of service. I'm about a year and a half into office. We've been making some marvelous strides as we find our way through the intersection of crisis. We are doing our very, very best, which is a great job for you, the residents. And I want to go back to a full screen with our guests, Liesel, Michael, and Michael here. And I want to be able to give you guys opportunity, starting with you, Mike Harris from EPA. Any closing comments before we turn this back over to the residents so they can go enjoy the rest of their evening?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you again for the opportunity to participate in this event. I think one of the key things that I want to emphasize here is the partnership that has been established and the enhanced communication that has been established in order to address the things that are continuing to need to be addressed. And you kind of laid that out in your presentation of what's left, and that enhanced communication plan that we've established between the city and EGLE and US EPA is instrumental in order for that to be successful. So I really appreciate the communication and the partnership that's been established, and let's keep it up.
Absolutely. Liesel from the state of Michigan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I just appreciate the chance to be with these fine gentlemen tonight to have this conversation about the progress update. And as the mayor says, there is a lot of work in front of us, but there's also a lot behind us. And so we're looking forward to partnering going forward. And I'm particularly looking forward to the community engagement sessions that the mayor and his team are working on. So I do appreciate the chance to be part of this, and looking forward to hearing from all of you as we move forward. So thanks for the chance to participate.
Thank you. And to our DPW Director, Mike Brown, any parting words?
Well, again, as this message has been, is about partnership with our partners in the state and in the nation, and also our partnership with our residents. We ask you to, if there's a water main break or if we're putting in new water main, there's a little bit of a delay or a little bit of inconvenience. We do apologize for that, but we're trying to make the system safer for generations to come.
Well, thank you for that. And I just want to reiterate once again, as we reach out to you, as you reach out to us, flowing communications, good communications is key. We will continue to work on your behalf. This administration is dedicated to that, doing just that for you, the residents of the city of Flint. And with that, we're going to part out. But remember, what defines us is how we rise. Thank all of you for your partnership. Thank our communications teams, our IT teams, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And this is the first of many communications that you will be seeing from this office. So with that, God bless you all. Keep me lifted in prayer as I keep all of you lifted in prayer. Thank you and good night.